welcome everybody to the 1 o'clock, October 2nd, 2023 meeting of the Southampton Town Board of Trustees. Welcome to the people on Zoom as well. Ask the Secretary Treasurer to start with the roll.
William Parrish. Present. Ann Walker.
Here.
Edward J. Warner.
Present.
William Pellis present. Scott Howard.
I'm here.
President's here. You ready to go?
Okay.
Just before we proceed, can you just explain the presence of Mr. Joseph Lombardo in the seat of Mr. McRedmond?
Well, he's the Southampton Town Trustees Special Counsel that's sitting here today. I don't know where Mark is. I mean, Mark came in for work session, he left. I know Joe wanted to sit and work with us today, and Joe is our loyal legal counsel.
So was Mr. McRedmond informed, or was this discussed with him?
No.
So should he be asked to join us?
You want me to speak?
Well, you could speak.
Okay. The town attorney's office is inherently conflicted representing the town and representing this board, which is not a department of the town. It is an independent elected body. The fact that the town attorney's office can be conflicted very easily in the advice that they give. It is a longstanding principle of law that a servant cannot serve two masters. His paycheck is signed by the town of Southampton. I have been in his position and was advised by an elected official, or actually queried, who signs your paycheck? Mark has done good work for the trustees, but we're entering a phase of the board's existence that would require the person sitting in this chair, be it me or be it some other attorney, independent of the town attorney's office, to be able to give free and unconflicted advice to the board.
Hey, Joe. You just mentioned an existence, okay? That kind of makes me think of what are the things hanging on the wall? Could you take a couple minutes to explain?
Sure.
Since we're in existence, and why we would still be in existence if the town went out of business?
The very fact is that the documents in the back that the people on TV would not be able to see are copies of the Andros patent, and they're copies of the Dongan patent. They have been in existence in some manner, shape, or form since the town was conceived of in 1640. The town of Southampton as a municipal entity postdates those dates by a considerable amount. The fact is that the Dongan patent, which is the charter that allows this board to exist and to operate independent of the town government, have been constitutionally recognized by the state of New York since before the American Revolution, and every iteration of the state constitution in succession of 1775 or thereabouts recognize your existence by recognizing those documents that are on the back.
Thank you. And the original copies are down in town clerk's security.
That's my understanding, yes.
Yes. So they honor them very deeply, I think.
So just circling back to my original question, and was this something that was discussed prior to today's meeting?
No.
Right, was something that was discussed with Mr. McRedmond prior to today's meeting?
No, not at all.
Well, wouldn't it be, during my time on the board, we have been represented by the town attorney's office, and for us to suddenly, spontaneously make a change, it just seems that it would have been respectful and civil to go about having some sort of discussion about it rather than just a sudden change.
Well, the reality of the situation is that Special Counsel Lombardo has served as acting as in the seat that he's in many times when there was an inability for the town to provide somebody, or there was a conflicting meeting that they had to pull them out of. And at this point in time where we're, working through transition, where this trust has a substantial fiduciary duty that has to benefit the beneficiaries of that trust, one of the first aspects that this trust has as a requirement is to assure that there is loyal legal counsel. And as Trustee Lombardo had pointed out, it's difficult to ensure the beneficiaries of that trust that there can be when there's the serving of two masters in a very difficult situation. So nobody means any disrespect to Mr. McRedmond. It's just this board not wanting to disrespect its beneficiaries. And again, it was not prior discussed. It was just seemed to fall out here this morning as people rolled in to get a meeting started on time because we knew that this room had to be utilized by the town board for another purpose at 12:30. So we wanted to get started quickly. There's no harm in it carrying over to Mr. Lombardo. In my opinion, it does serve the beneficiaries of the trust better to have separate loyal legal counsel, and we were trying to work that out through the tax district implementation of the trustees for the benefit of the people of the town of Southampton. So
However,
you can advise us on whether we are doing something that's incorrect or improper procedurally.
if a substantive change is being made, would it not have been better protocol to have had a discussion about it?
It's, you're
We
certain.
could discuss this later. in
Yeah, I mean, he
executive.
serves at the pleasure. I mean, if does anybody have any objection to Special Counsel Lombardo serving as the capacity that he is right now?
I don't. I'm glad to have him there.
Trustee Warner?
I don't feel like that it's any loss of a representation. Actually, I believe it's a good thing for our board to have Mr. Lombardo as his acting special counsel sit there. I think moving forward with the tax line, either him or another attorney will be sitting there as representing us. And Joe has a few decades of working with the town as a town, counsel before he came on board as a special counsel. He worked for my father on the trustee board back in the 90s and 2000 prior to me being on this board. And when I was lucky enough to join the board, he helped me along and gave me guidance, and I feel very comfortable in what he's done for this board and how he's represented it very fairly. So I think it's, as he is sitting there right now, I have no problem with it.
Trustee Parrish, you're an attorney yourself?
Well, I think there need not be a conflict, but just the appearance of a conflict that necessitates Mr. Lombardo sitting at the table with us. And I did see Mr. McRedmond come in this morning, and he was asked if he wanted to stay and sit in the audience, and he stormed out. So there wasn't an opportunity to have any further conversation with
Well,
him.
that's to my point, that this was not discussed, and would not it have been proper or better protocol to have had a discussion? That's my point.
Okay, and that's a fair point, and we could have an executive session after we take care of the business of the people, and we could clarify those points for you. But I think at this point in time, we should probably move forward with the agenda, and then we will break after we're done with the business, and be more than happy, the board would be more than happy to sit and have an executive session and have a discussion about making a determination on what's the most sensible way to assure the beneficiaries of the trust that we have loyal legal counsel representing. Okay, is that fair? Okay, thank you. All right, so that being said, the next work session is going to be on October 16th, 2023 at 9:30 a.m., followed by our 1 o'clock session, our general meeting. We do have some meetings acceptance that has to be taken care of. It's for the regular meeting of May 1st, 2023.
Make a motion.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Trustee Warner, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we did get some communications from outside, and I would like to acknowledge that they're there and dispense with reading those communications. The trustees can read them at their,
Second that.
seconded Trustee Warner, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're up to public portion. I do see Don Law came in. So Don, we'll give you a few minutes to address the board. If you do go up there, you can, is the sign-in sheet there?
Yes,
You can, if you want to sit, you can bring it over here.
whatever's easier,
Well,
Yeah,
you gotta
just
just
bring-
bring the sign-in sheet if you're
Yeah.
gonna take it from there, because you have to sign it.
you guys. All right. First of all, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Just do this real quick. I don't know, you guys want my address? All right, good enough. Bring that back up on the way out. All right, so some of you know, and some of you may not know, or all you know, that, first of all, I'm here to address the outcome of the last meeting on the duck blind position or application. And so, going over a few things and finally discussing it with others, I had withdrawn my application. I wrote to Ann first, I think, and then Billy. And I was getting ready to go on a family reunion. And I wasn't even supposed to be here, but it was a nice day yesterday. I figured I'd drive home. But anyway, I'm going to give up the spot, the application, and the whole thought of it. Talking with others, it wasn't positive. So why have wars? Why have arguments? And just leave it alone. And my recommendation to you guys would, that area is so nice, to leave it alone, period.
We
For future.
actually talked about it this morning to make it a bird sanctuary.
Well, you know, not just for waterfowl. I mean, I was there the other day, well, I was there a lot, and besides the shorebirds, the egrets, the swans, even though they're waterfowl, there's, you know, bright blue herons, and I'm sure pretty soon you'll see, what do you call it up there? If you build one, the nest,
Osprey.
osprey, yeah, I couldn't spit it out. All right, so that being said, I'm glad that was discussed. The other thing I have is, during this whole process, which kind of upsets me, and people in my family and outside of that, is when I went for this application, I'm not sure, because I haven't read it since I started signing things. I had to give up another spot, because I had 2 spots. That means 2, not 4. So I was more than happy, and I did. My whole problem now is I have 2 duck blinds and 1 spot. You're saying, well, what does that mean? Where am I going to put that duck blind without somebody complaining, or leave it where I can? Because that's also another problem.
Sure.
So that was my bargaining chip. That being said, meaning if I wanted to trade with somebody, I'd say, hey, I got this spot, give me your spot. And I have nothing now, so that's my issue. I'm not asking for an answer. I just want you guys to think about it. And I'm not going to go to Danny, who has the new spot that I gave, and say I need it back, because there's another problem. So I don't want any more enemies. I don't want any more fights, arguments. I just want everything to be, let it go. But again, here I am in the situation. Everybody will make out kind of but me. But I don't know what your thoughts are. I don't want to, if I go on the list, that's a joke. The problem is also with some of those spots that are opened, people, it's just, they're just, access is the main issue. So that's, I just wanted to let you guys know about that. And
So you have 2 duck blinds,
yeah,
but 1 spot.
right.
And
Well, okay, go ahead, sir.
no, well, you need a place to put the second duck blind.
Correct. Or I give up that for somebody who needs one. I had already thought about that.
Maybe you can make a deal where I'll give you the duck blind.
Well,
you go
yeah,
hunt and-
there's enough out there. I thought about that situation, but I'll address that as we go.
I mean, a lot of the, ideas of bringing, the older generation, the more experienced generation of hunters together with the younger generation is so that, they can collaboratively work together on getting the blinds grassed and prepared and hunt together and enjoy the experiences and learn,
Well, everyone in that area, we kind of always did that. We got our grass, and we got, do you need any? Yeah, I need any. Want some? Drop it off, that kind of thing. And,
Well, I'm talking about in general, the whole premise behind the entire program was to engage in a resource that was productive
Right.
and safe, okay, and safe for everybody, and managed nicely. And you do hit a point of saturation in areas, and we talked about it on the first day that you came in, about having some area for the birds to rest, and now we're moving on with, this discussion in a more formal, manner, as it came to everybody's attention. And I think, there's a lot of reliance on, people's experiences and on our Marine Patrol as well to help make determinations of,
Right.
We have like 300 blinds. So there's always going to be somebody on the waiting list. It's impossible for us to oversaturate the area, create problems and get that to go. And that's where that community, I think, has to work together and, sharing, the experiences together and the knowledge and enjoying that resource together and getting the help that they need. So,
In that first meeting, I did mention, and even to the whole start of this thing, my plan was not to go there every day, not to hunt it every day. It would be, like I said, during a storm. And some people say, what does that mean? It's an area, it's a time where that place would be productive, and the things that we learned over the years is you never saturate a place by just keep shooting, and it's the stupidest thing. And my spot that I have now, we hunt it tops 3 times a week, tops. Sometimes we let it go because it's just not worth it, or leave it alone. Because you wait for the next time, wait for the next time. We don't have to run out here, and it's not about numbers with, the harvest. It's not. It's right now, at this point, it's gone out and enjoy it. If you can't enjoy something, especially in this town, it's sad because we got some of the best and beautiful places, Shinnecock Bay, for crying out loud.
right.
You
That's
know.
why we're all working so hard to preserve it and not let it get oversaturated and
That's right.
make sensible decisions.
So, anyway, that's where I'm at, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
And
So where is your second blind right
I'm
now?
not telling you.
Oh.
No,
So-
no,
So,
one's
do
in
you
the
have
spot.
a plan?
Yeah, one's in
for
the
it?
spot where the others are, in that area we're talking about now. The other one's at its spot, almost ready to go, but what I'll probably do, since the other one's new, Ed kind of will relate to a little bit of this. I got that blind from Billy Bennett. Now, of course, Billy passed, and I just should not have taken it in the first place. But my heart said, do it, see what you can do. How you hunting at Billy's blind? It was a nightmare. But I did it, and I had my puppy at the time, so I kind of, him playing with me on the way down to the bay. So that blind's almost perfect now. So what I'll do is I'll change one, put the good one in there, that I'll stay with. And maybe I'll sell the other one, give it away, I don't know yet. But,
Well, so we have an off-season storage area in West Hampton that's used sometimes, right?
Yeah,
I
but
know
that's-
it's,
How
I
the,
know
how the duck
But
hunters
that's-
do it, like the ones in West Hampton, they're bringing that to
yeah, I saw it, yeah.
the island in the
Yeah,
middle,
right
and time
past it,
there.
yeah.
In Moneyball.
Moneyball. Then, the way you are, they bring them in there, then in Mecox, they bring them over there.
Hong Kong, over there.
Some people
Yeah.
take them home.
Some people
put 'em on
take 'em
trailer,
home.
Take them home.
And some people just leave them there, and then we get a lot of complaints from
Yeah.
the homeowners.
I mean, do you think you should safeguard it for, take it home?
It'll be fine, it's just that I'd rather be being useful instead of being a nuisance. So,
Right, a
That's a
nuisance
problem.
is not a good thing.
No.
You'll probably find someone who'll take it.
Yeah, I got somebody in my mind, but it'll cost, no. I'm kidding. It's-
All right.
So anyway,
Why don't you give that a couple days' worth of thoughts, and then you could recontact any one of us here on the board,
yeah, I can, I'll see what happens, and
and we'll
But-
manage it.
like I said, to try to get my other spot back, I don't want to do that to Danny, or it'll cause more trouble and damage, so.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
unfortunate.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Thank you,
Danny.
Don.
Donnie. We got
All right, we have another public portion meeting here.
with
Mr. Jim Corwin's here.
Ed Howard.
Howard Reese,
You can bring some other
you can
people
come
up.
up.
You want to? So we got more. We can get more chairs.
Yeah, we can leave the cheerleading squad back there. They just need to
Okay.
be informed. So I'm Tim Corwin, this is the president of Southampton Trails Preservation Society, Mark Potter, and I think you guys all know Howard Griesman.
And I think I called you Bill on our first meeting, so I apologize to you both.
Okay, it's okay. We're talking about the nature trail down on our property in Cold Spring.
I'm going to give you guys some updates here. I gave you the information packet last time, so everybody can get a copy there. If not, I have a couple more here.
One of them,
Okay, so when we presented this package before, we were trying to do something very similar with the Nature Conservancy did with the Wolf Swamp Preserve. With a accessible trail, they put in a half-mile loop. So we'd like to do something very similar to that on the trustee's property on Cold Spring Pond. Now, the original estimate that I presented to you was bare bones, and the original estimate was $106,000, and that was put in a half-mile loop. Since that time, we've been informed that maybe there's more money available and that you guys seem to want to spend it. So I've come up with some additional options. None of these prices are firm, because until we really get a commitment on this, I can't really go to the guy and say, yeah, we need definite prices. But if you look at this sheet here, and this one here that I had, it shows the additional trail we'd like to put in there.
Can I have a second page of that? I just have one page here.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
So, additions to this, we need to do a survey, $3,000. Do a section of the parking lot, asphalt handicap section like they did it on Millstone Brook Road. Split rail fencing, 1,500 feet of trail added to the original plan, 4 educational signs, additional planning fee, gazebo at the bayward end of the trail, 4 teak benches, boardwalk over a section of the marsh, 2 osprey poles, kayak racks and picnic table, and I threw miscellaneous in there, $20,000, because there's always going to be miscellaneous. If you guys have any other additions you'd like to add to this, then please say so, and we'll certainly research and see what we can do. So the really ballpark estimate at this point is about $200,000. And once we have a commitment, then we can go ahead and firm up these prices.
and apply for the, that money was set aside.
Yeah, I mean, firming up the prices has to follow the procurement procedure
Yeah.
that we have to go by. You know what I
Okay.
mean, the official manner by which we have to handle getting pricing and bidding or utilizing a contract that's acceptable to piggyback on.
Okay?
So that really, I think, what will set, I mean, this is great, it's getting out there
Idea.
and getting a good idea, but we still have to follow, the
Okay.
dotting of every I and crossing of every T.
Well, we don't really know what you guys want to do, what the procedure is here. I mean, if you want to,
Well, we're working on this, right?
Yeah.
Well, there was an idea that Trustee Pell had about seeing if Nature Conservancy wanted to get involved.
Or your group.
Southampton Trails,
Southampton
is a
Trails.
not-for-profit.
Not-for-profit.
Yeah,
Right.
and we could run the show, have you run everything through the not-for-profits. I mean, it's basically your money, you're telling us what to do, and we're just,
Like a joint effort.
So
Yeah.
we just have to make sure we're meeting the tests of whatever that procedure is, and it's
Yes. Okay.
proper. So
Yeah.
we're trying to arrive at that. So we gotta get to
And also,
that.
we have a fixed amount of money, so if
Right.
if it exceeds it, we're talking about something as a partnership more than just working under the auspices of your contract and reimburse it.
And you guys might be able to get grants too.
yeah, we can certainly try that, sure.
Get grants if you want to, if it goes over.
So we're working through the actual,
So-
legalese and the procurement.
So if, Joe, if they go after contract, to build it, if you go partnership with them, do they have to pay prevailing wage?
If we're involved,
They
that
do.
would, they
I
would
think-
probably have
yeah.
to, yeah.
That's where I think that it may not be to the advantage. We may have to
Yeah.
just take the whole thing on and do what we gotta
Okay.
do if you're
And
still
then-
gonna get.
Then you have you guys run it then.
Okay, well, you need to tell us what you want us to do.
Yeah.
Right, but we need to arrive at what the legal structure is gonna have to look like for us to
Yeah.
dot the i's and cross the t's here to get this thing done.
So
and
Joe,
get it
you think we
proper.
should set up a meeting like me, you, and some of them?
Yeah,
Tim?
yeah.
Then we can sit down and,
Yeah, no, I think we need to sit down, figure out what we want to do, how we want to do it, and In what capacity?
Yeah, Ed, do you want to be involved with this? It might be a good idea, because you'll be here next year.
Yeah, I mean.
You know the area very well.
Yeah, I mean, we just met with Peter Topping, the iconic baykeeper, and some of his ideas, which are gonna be
Yeah.
the adjoining waters right next to this
Yeah,
project.
I had
so-
asked him to reach out. He
Yeah, I
said he
spoke-
did, because down at, he just applied to make this, he wants, gave us an idea to make this a sanctuary down here at the end here, clam sanctuary. And I said that you were gonna have your trails, maybe he can do a walkway or something
Sure,
down
yeah,
there for,
yeah, definitely be
so that people can
incorporated,
see with signs and,
Yeah,
the kiosks.
yeah,
Educational component.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it might be a good idea as a, you know,
And,
attract more people.
and can you please remind me of the funding source for this?
This is when Sabonic Golf Course donated this, they gave roughly $500,000 to be spent in this area. And what was the amount left? Jessica, do you have that offhand?
I
think it was like-
don't
It's
know.
like 200,000.
It was just under two.
It was about, just under 90,000, I think.
No,
No, I
just,
think it was more than that, no?
no, it's just a little bit under 200,000.
Yeah, just under 200 if I recall
So
correctly.
there's a GL then that
Yes.
has
There,
this.
there should be a GL
on
in
it
that,
that's
yeah.
That
specifically,
we've already determined.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I think I sent it to you,
$200,000 left? Is that
under, I
Yeah.
think there's under.
under like 190-some thousand.
190,000.
I might have it on my
So
phone.
this kind of fits right into that there then.
Yeah.
Yeah, assuming those are the
But
numbers
we
that.
have to
Well, again,
work.
these
Yeah.
are just guesstimates anyway.
Right, right, 'cause
Yeah.
we would have to either go out to bid, or like I say, piggyback off a county, you know, or some type of contract that's acceptable for the town to be able to use, so.
Okay.
That would really determine what the actual numbers are. This is the great guideline to go by, but once we do that, then we'll know what those numbers really
Okay.
are, and that's what we have to go by.
All right.
Could this be a town park? What is why couldn't it be?
It's not
Because the
owned by the
trustees,
town.
it's not owned by the town, it's owned by the
trustees
trustees.
It's
And we think,
convenient.
yeah, it's a lot safer.
But,
Well, I'm thinking about maintenance, of course. We normally maintain
Yeah,
with difficulty
Yeah.
the hundreds of miles of trails we have in the town. But we really don't have that kind of manpower. It would be awful nice
Yeah.
if, included within this list of potential
a maintenance,
costs, we
maintenance program.
arrange for maintenance, because it's going to be a popular site and
Yeah.
a delicate one for that matter.
Yeah.
You-
we have some of the maintenance could probably be done by our maintenance crew, going there, cutting
be
back with
welcome.
machines, as long as they're told, you know, what, you know, they don't destroy anything, cut
Well,
the
it should
whole
be pretty
thing.
That would
straightforward.
make
Yeah.
the most sense.
You don't wander off into the,
We have a very good maintenance crew.
Okay.
we'll use
And
that.
it's really the type of thing that.
They would
keep
enjoy.
working, you know.
Yeah,
They end up doing a lot of road work.
Uh-huh.
And this is really something that,
Yeah, so that's.
Yeah,
that's
they would
the
like-
with that, you know. I mean, you know, if a tree's down or something like that, we can go down and cut it up, but, you
Yeah.
know, as far as.
Routine maintenance, if there's a picnic area, for example,
Yeah.
you know, things happen at picnic areas that need to be
Yeah.
cleaned up.
Yeah.
routinely.
unfortunately.
Yeah, fortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the troubles we have down there, people dump a lot of stuff.
yeah, we know
Right.
about landscapers in this area. That's why there's a chain in front of the,
Yeah.
on the roadway there most times, because the landscapers go down here and dump all the debris there.
Well, this plan would have a small parking lot basically right on the road with just a small buffer, so I don't think they'd be apt to dump it on the parking
No,
lot.
you
No.
can't get down low, because people seeing it, plus with this, more people come down there and enjoy this area. It's,
Yeah.
they're actually policing it while they're there,
Mhm.
which is good.
Okay, so where do we go from here?
how do we proceed here?
So, the next step would, we'll set up a meeting, Joe, Ed, and myself,
Yeah.
and you guys,
Okay,
and we'd work on the plan
Yep.
and, agreement.
Yeah, well,
Get the
I think
exact
the
funding.
most,
that
the
we
most
got.
important thing is to get an idea of exactly what you want to do.
Exactly what we want to do. Then we can, first, then once we've figured that out, then we have to go out to bid to get, the survey.
Yeah.
And the
Well,
design.
survey is going to be part of it in any event,
Yeah.
so.
We can, once we get a project going, then I think how this works, we could start drawing money down
okay.
from that to pay for it as we go along. Instead of going out at the whole thing and paying for it.
Okay. Now, the two firms that I recommended in the original plan there, they were recommended by Peconic Land Trust.
Yeah,
And they have done a number of similar preserves for the land trust. I've gone and inspected one of them over in Southfield. It's an absolutely beautiful job. It's as
Yeah.
good or better than what the Nature Conservancy did. That's why I'd like to use these firms if possible.
Yeah,
for local
I think one of them's
survey.
already on the towns, what is the name of them?
One is
bid list?
Dirtworks and the other is MGD Horticultural Services.
I think the
Dirtworks is
first
the
one.
planning firm, and the horticultural service is
Yeah.
one that does the actual physical work.
Okay.
Yeah, we would have to go out to bid, unless they're already on the town or the county,
Okay, well, they could certainly bid on it then, too.
yeah,
100%.
yeah. We just can't, like, okay, you got the job.
Right, yeah.
We get in
There's a
trouble.
lot of steps that have to
The
be
more
gone.
contractors you get bid on it, the better the prices get.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's worse the job.
Well, we have to
That's the
watch
truth.
out, you know, we
Yeah,
can,
we've
that's-
seen that happen.
But the reality is, we have to follow,
Right.
mandated
Yeah, but we
procurement
can-
procedures,
but
you
we can
know.
also vet out a contractor that comes highly recommended, even though it might not be the lowest bid, if he's got, done projects and we see them and we're happy with them. I mean, there are ways to get, the
Right
best
people.
contractor in there for the best price.
And also, if we required that they had to post a bond or something, then that's going to take away a few people that don't want that kind of scrutiny.
Yeah, okay, well, both these companies are very well established, they're
Yeah.
both locally based.
Yeah.
which is good.
Good.
So you're not like having guys sit in traffic for hours to get out here.
Exactly.
We have to check, if you, text me the people's names again.
Yeah,
and
sure, okay.
I'll see if they're on the county list,
Okay.
or the town list.
Good,
Thanks for coming in.
All right.
Thanks for working on it.
all right.
Right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We'll be in touch.
Okay.
Maybe I'll have Joe reach out. Do you have Tim's number?
Get me contact numbers, please,
Yeah.
because that I don't have.
All right.
This is a
Anybody
very
else?
exciting project.
Yeah, should have been happened a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Good pay, prevailing wage.
We are pleased how well this
I don't know.
also has progressed. So
Good
thank you.
question.
Howard, you want to sign in there?
Well, the last time Sabonic Golf Club wanted to do something over there, that didn't go over well.
No.
They went in a very wrong direction.
Well, as far as the people that live in the area, I don't really see any great objections coming from them. I mean, all they're going to see when
there's
they
always
drive down Cold Spring
Yeah.
is a little parking lot with maybe a little sign,
I know.
you know. It's not gonna be heavy usage ever.
Let's see that, Howard, if anybody
Okay,
else
of
comes in.
course.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks, Will.
Thank you,
All right.
Have a great one.
everyone.
Thank you.
It's a
Thanks for
low
coming.
impact area with the kayak, there'll probably be more kayakers than
Yeah.
anybody there.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's
Especially if
what
you
we
get
come
The nice thing about it, you
Baykeeper
wanna go
in
for
there.
a short hike and you don't wanna worry about ticks.
Yeah.
You know, you'd have to like really try to get a tick on this.
And that's important.
Yeah, it definitely is. All right, thank you.
Anybody on Zoom want to jump in on public portion here? Now would be the time to put your hand up and let Charles know that you want to address the board.
There are no participants.
We have no participants, okay. Thank you, Charles. All right, that being said, let's move off to the application for permits and go through the agenda that we have. So the board trustees hereby waives a public hearing on the following applications because it has been determined that the following projects do not raise significant degree of public interest or public input is not needed to aid in the decision-making process. So, trustee Welker.
Trustee Resolution 2023-270, the application of Earl Greer, 606 Montauk Highway Watermill, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-114-2-11, body of water Mill Creek. This is a reconstruction of an in-place bulkhead along Mill Creek that will be elevated by 6 inches, and it will replace the lawn right up to the bulkhead with a 10-foot wide buffer area of beach grass. I'd like to recommend its approval.
Second.
Seconded, trustee Warner, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Trustee Resolution 2023-271, modification, first application of Alicari LLC, 12 Bob White Lane, Remsenburg, New York, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-381-3-42, body of water Mauritius Bay. This has been worked on in work session, and I move for its advance.
Second.
Seconded, trustee Connell, all in favor?
Next resolution is 2023-272, application of 1718 LLC, 400 Dune Road, Village of West Hampton Beach, New York, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 905-017-003-55.1, body of water Mauritius Bay.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Connell, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Trustee Resolution 2023-273, renewal application of EBS Associates LLC, permit number GP 000053, 65 Point Road, Village of West Hampton Beach, New York, Suffolk County Tax Map number 0905-17-2-23, body of water, Moriches Bay.
Second.
Seconded, trustee Pell, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Trustee Resolution 2023-190,
That's actually,
That's Eddie's.
Yeah,
that's it.
yes.
You probably want to do it for him.
2023-190,
The next one.
trustee resolution. We've been tabling this, working on a project with the Moriches Bay project and also Cornell Cooperative Extension. It's whereas shellfish such as oysters and clams are beneficial to the environment and the asset to the freeholders and the commonality of the town of Southampton. Whereas the Moriches Bay project through co-founder Laura Fabrizio requests permission for the trustees to install oyster and clam sanctuaries. We're going to strike farms and put sanctuaries in Quonic Bay in 3 locations. 2 for clams and 1 for oysters at locations, the coordinates of which have been provided to the trustees. Now it therefore be resolved, be it resolved that the trustees do hereby authorize Moriches Bay project to install oyster and clam sanctuaries, striking farms again, in Quonic Bay in 3 locations, 2 for clams, 1 for oysters, at locations that have been provided to the trustees with specific coordinates, and that the existence of such sanctuaries help increase the shellfish stocks in town waters. This is in conjunction with the Cornell Cooperative Extension, the Moriches Bay project, and the town trustees. This area in Quonic Bay has been off limits to commercial and recreational harvest for over 30 years. So installing these sanctuaries and putting these shellfish in there increases the filtering ability of the shellfish, and hopefully that we can turn back any poor water quality that historically has been in this area for the past 30 years.
You want a second for the modification of the word?
Yeah, you're gonna need that.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I'll give you a second for the modification. All in favor?
Aye.
Now, on the resolution,
okay,
is there a motion?
I'll second the motion.
all right, thank you.
You making the motion?
Now make the motion, yep.
Trustee Pell is seconding the motion on the modified version of the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Clear, Jessica?
Yep.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Perfect.
Now, trustee Parish.
Trustee Resolution 2023-274. It's an application to authorize the president to sign a contract with L.K. McLean Associates, P.C. for professional engineering service for a Yacht Club Drive Remsenburg bulkhead replacement. Whereas on September 12, 2023, L.K. McLean Associates, P.C. submitted a proposal to provide engineering design and permitting services for a bulkhead replacement at Yacht Club Drive, Remsenburg, for the purpose of maintaining public safety and public access. And whereas L.K. McLean Associates, P.C. have been providing professional services for the town of Southampton for various highway projects and possess the requisite skill and experience in addition to being familiar with the operations and the needs of the town. And whereas LKMA will provide surveys, engineering, and specification writing, construction, contract administration, and part-time construction inspection for the bulkhead replacement at Yacht Club Drive, Remsenburg.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Trustee Resolution 2023-275, waterfowl hunting location permit. For the 2023-24 hunting location application, have approved individual from the wait list. Permit number 109 to John Limskin of Eastern Shinnecock Bay.
I'll second that.
Seconded, trustee Warner, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Trustee Resolution 2023-276, notice of a public hearing on the trustees' proposed budget for 2024.
I'll second that.
Thank
Want to
you.
read it?
Yeah, I can
I
read
think you
it.
should read it.
Notice of the public hearing on the trustee proposed 2024 budget, whereas the secretary treasurer present the proposed 2024 budget to the trustees of the freeholders and the community commentary of the town of Southampton, the trustees, on the September 18th, 2023. And whereas the trustees adopted the proposed 2024 budget, now therefore be it that the resolve the trustees of the freeholders of the Commonwealth of the town of Southampton hereby schedule a public hearing for consideration, amendment, changes, and alteration to said budget and to be further. And to resolve that the trustee of the freeholder commonalty of the town of Southampton hereby direct the public hearing should be held Monday, October 16th, 2023 at 1 p.m. at the town of Southampton at 116 Hampton Road, Southampton, New York, to hear any and all persons either or against the proposed 2024 budget and any items contained in the trust proposed 2024 budget and to be further.
Okay, thank you.
I'll second that.
Seconded by trustee Warner. All in favor?
Aye. Thank you, everyone, for that. It's very important.
Trustee Resolution 2023-277, this is to authorize the president to sign an agreement with SOMAS, the School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences at Stony Brook University, for the installation and operation of the environmental observatories in Mecox Bay. This is to make sure that we have a valid contract so that SOMAS can be paid for
This is
the stations that are present in Mecox Bay. I'd like to recommend its
I'll
approval.
give you a second on that. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Trustee Resolution 2023-278, this is authorized trustee president to sign change order over 10% for lily pad removal at Mill Pond.
I'd like to have a
We're-
roll report on this, too.
Whereas on August 23rd, 2023, the Board of Trustees of the Freeholders and Commonalty of the Town of Southampton entered into a written contract with SpectraServe Inc. to remove lily pads from Mill Pond at a cost of $36,500. And whereas increased costs due to the disposal of lily pads necessitated a cost increase to $44,200 and the execution of a change order to reflect such change. Whereas this change order will be for more than a 10% increase, and whereas procurement policy followed by the trustees requires a resolution adopted by the Board of Trustees to approve a change order increase over 10%. Now therefore resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorize trustee president Scott Horowitz to sign a change order and any other documents with the SpectraServe necessary to effectuate an increase in the total price paid to SpectraServe for lily pad removal at Mill Pond to $44,200. So, just in way of an explanation about this, the original quote for disposal of the lily pads was for $25 per cubic yard, which was procured at the time that the bid was solicited. Subsequent to that quote, the cost of the lily pads disposal was increased to $60 per cubic yard, and due to that increased cost, this resolution was necessary because it's approximately $7,000, so it's more than the 10% that would have necessitated a change order. And this project had been started when this was discovered, and we made a decision to carry on with the company and do the removal, even though it did necessitate an increase in price.
Right, so there's been a tremendous amount of effort and energy put in by the Board of Trustees and the local citizens of the Mill Pond to try and do the best that we can at getting good water quality for Mill Pond. There's been many aspects of this project. But it's just the variables that led up to this increase, and we had this conversation earlier today of whether or not it was really warranted, you know, with all the permitting that the trustees went through and all the disclosures of where the lilies were gonna be going. Do we not take this, do we have a further discussion? I'm looking at you, Joseph Lombardo. I mean,
Okay.
do we go further with this, or do we, contractually, it's,
Joe, I
There-
really, not to interrupt you, I really don't feel comfortable in voting on this right at this time. I feel that we don't have enough information. Why did not accept it? Why did the contractor did not research it more? The other damages the contractor did, he did not fulfill his whole contract. I mean, this is supposed to be a beautiful project for the environment, for the neighborhood. And right now, it's not, all I did was get phone calls while the whole time the guy was doing the job. And this has to be really.
So this is just a change order?
I realize,
This is not,
Trustee Walker,
this is not,
I'm waiting for Joe to answer.
this is not payment for the project. And I have a list of things that I was going to address further along in the meeting that need to be cleared up
Relative to
prior
this?
to, yes,
so maybe the
Prior
appropriate
to.
time, right?
prior to payment. Sure, it can be done now.
Yeah, because this way, I think it should be, right?
For transparency?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and then.
How we got here.
Right, so let's discuss it.
So the water lily removal is complete as of yesterday. The lilies were, the staging station that was incorrectly set up at the Deerfield launch as of this morning has been pretty much remedied. There is topsoil put down there with grass seed and straw. I will be inspecting it because the container that was there for disposal was still there. That still needs to be made sure of. So that area, the payment would be contingent upon not only the Deerfield area, but also the Corwith Park area being restored to a as before situation. The Corwith Park area, there needs to be revegetation done there because there was material that was removed just beside the boat launch. So that will also need to be addressed. Is that everything? Is there anything else that you?
Well, I just think, like what the cause was surrounding the increase. I mean, it does happen from the time that you award a project and get into a project, costs do increase, and we're suffering from substantial inflation right now on pretty much everything. So that does happen, and there are provisions to make adjustments in these things, and that's what it is.
So, and I didn't say, so in the contract, it reads per the disposal costs that the North Sea landfill will accept the material at $25 per cubic yard, or an alternative location will be found by the trustees. We were in, the contractor, when they reached out at the beginning of the project, was informed that North Sea landfill could not accept the material, and so it was necessary to seek an alternative location. This is why there is the discrepancy between the $7,000 discrepancy, because we had to seek an alternative
Because our
location
own town
to
landfill
dispose.
wouldn't
Yes.
accept the material.
Right, right. My understanding is that the DEC permit that the town owns for, or has in their possession for vegetation, would not allow them to accept this amount of
But the
vegetation.
DEC permits that the trustees gave to get the project going indicated as a spoil site? this facility?
So the contract reads that it's either North Sea landfill or an alternative
And
location.
what was told to the state for the permitting process? I believe it was made very clear at the beginning that the intent was to dispose of it at the North Sea landfill.
So I don't know which
Because it seems
takes
to be that was
precedence.
always the plan, it seemed.
Yeah.
Well, that was always the plan.
See, that's where it gets confusing, where the state is saying on a permit that we're,
But so that's what I'm saying, is that I don't know, the contract says that it's North Sea landfill at $25 per cubic yard or an alternative. So that's one of the things that needs to be looked into here, is that language. But the other thing that needs to be looked into is our contract also reads that 200 cubic yards is to be removed. There were 4 20-yard containers that were on site or have been removed from this location, so there's 80 cubic yards. So that's the other thing that needs to be
So-
looked at.
and I'm looking at Joseph Lombardo right now about this resolution. There's a lot of,
A lot of missing
Like-
parts.
like-
There is,
you know,
there are other complicating factors to this, not the least of which is that the town supervised the bidding. The town gave a price to the successful bidder of a price. But now all of a sudden, they can't accept it because of their DEC permit. Well, presumably, the DEC permit that gave them, that allowed them to make a bid on the price was the one they're working off of now. The trustees relied on the town to do the right thing, and on a couple of levels, the town hasn't done the right thing.
So, however, we were able to find an alternative location, and that is what the contract stipulates, is that if North Sea, we made provisions for this in the contract. It clearly states, if North Sea landfill is not able to accept it, an alternative location will be
Right,
found.
which is why I am saying that this board is a victim in this case. We are the recipient of a situation where there's a breach of the contract through no fault of our own, and we've got to get rid of lily pads.
right.
But that has been accomplished.
Yes,
Well,
and
well, that's what
which is
he's
why I'm
establishing
saying,
this. He's-
there are things to be looked at for the
Establishing.
future.
Oh, absolutely.
But as for now, my recommendation would be approve the increase in price. It's going to have to be adjusted because we budgeted for 200 yards of lily pads. We're only disposing of 80 yards, so that's going to be a substantial savings off of what we
have to
anticipated
look
it to be.
You have to look at the language in the
But
contract.
for the future, again, the town supervised the bidding process for you, the town attorney's office. So here we are looking at the town as a potential cause of the breach of contract, and
Well, this would be my suggestion for the future, because Big Fresh Pond is interested in lily pad removal. There are other water bodies that are interested in, I think that the purchase, as has been suggested by Steve Warner previously, I think the purchase of an aquatic harvester should be looked into. I think that it would make things, I think marine maintenance could run it, we could figure out the disposal of it ourselves. I think that going forward, that would simplify things considerably. We got 3 bids. We got a bid from an organization in East Hampton, we got a bid from a organization in New Jersey, and one from Colorado. We took unfortunately, the low bid was not the East Hampton organization, and we chose to use a more local organization, not the Colorado one. We took the medium bid, and unfortunately, it did not work out as we
I think
wished.
for the future, we have an experience now. The next time we have to go out for a contract like this, we'll be perhaps a little bit more careful in scrutinizing the bids and the organizations that would be
Well,
accepted.
we relied on there being some good faith here somewhere.
Yes.
Seemed to have broken
We
down.
asked for, I believe it was 5 years' experience with the contractor. in order to bid on it. This was not a new
Right.
company.
So,
I like to say,
My recommendation would be approve the resolution so that we can get forward and get rid of the lily pads that we have. And for the future, we'd be a little bit more careful scrutinizing
there
the
has been a
process.
contractor that has worked locally in Lake Agawam for the last couple of years, and I have not heard anything like this happening with that contractor, so maybe we should look into having,
Perhaps.
They submitted a bid,
okay.
but their bid was almost twice as much as
Okay.
this company. That's why I wanted to take them,
Yeah.
but it was a
We have to
significant
be, we have to
difference
be
in
mindful,
price.
I don't believe New York State law requires us to take the absolute lowest
No,
bid.
no.
It
This-
requires us to take the lowest responsible bidder, and I think
Yeah.
we've gotten a ton of experience
Well,
with this
right.
one.
Looking at this type of project moving forward, we have Agawam, we have this pond, and maybe we have Big Fresh. If we have a contractor that's a good bidder, maybe he's a little bit more money to get him up here and go from one pond to another pond to another pond.
it's a more
That's-
holistic
And-
approach,
and-
we talked
and
about.
really
that.
save money and get the.
In essence, get our own bidding contract for this that we'll be able to use as a resource and also share with the town. of East Hampton if
learning
need be.
experience
Yeah.
for all of us.
Yes, but the aquatic harvester is very simple to operate, and I think that we should at least look into the possibility of purchase of it, because it would have simplified things immeasurably.
I couldn't
if
agree
we
with you
could
Still
more.
have
do
the
it
same
ourselves.
disposal problem?
What's that?
Wouldn't you still have the same disposal
We
problem?
would
Perhaps.
have, we would have handled it.
Perhaps.
We would have
I
handled
think
it.
we were relying on-
We're gonna learn from our mistake here.
Well, the
It
thing is,
wasn't a mistake. It was,
Well, yeah.
it was,
it
you know.
process.
it wasn't a
Yeah.
mistake. These are things that occur. It's just, as we pointed out, what led up to that
Yeah.
occurrence. And,
Going to the wrong location is the biggest one.
that was a
So-
mistake.
So
Not ours, the
that
contract,
was a
yeah.
very large mistake. The paperwork that was given to the contractor very clearly showed Corwith Park. The setup of the staging area at Deerfield Road was
The amount of.
an egregious
Right.
mistake.
The amount of responsibility on this five-member historical board is massive, massive, what we're responsible for in this town, And we do the best that we can with the resources that we absolutely have. But anybody knows, we're stretched.
And was he supposed to notify us
To the
when he
max.
started?
Yes. There was, that paperwork was done.
Bill, in the time I've been on this board, and someone said it in the office, Mill Pond might be cursed. I mean, we had Sotheby's, we had Foslock, we had the inability for the town to get through all this.
Don't put
So-
bad juju on
Let's not
your
go back.
part.
So we've been
Don't
going
spread the
forward,
word.
so
We've got-
we got the project accomplished.
We've been
Yes.
going
So
forward.
let's keep
It
moving
will
in
be-
a positive way.
We will be okay here.
yeah.
Have we
Yeah.
had some stumbles?
Yeah.
Absolutely with this project.
But
But as you said, we've learned from it and
Yeah.
we're
Yep.
going to go in
And-
a
and I'll
different
verify.
direction. We are going to go in a different direction going forward.
I'll verify that the date they said they were going to start, I drove down Deerfield and there they were unloading the harvester. So yeah, it was the day they said they would start, so.
So,
Yes,
and
but-
are you recommend,
Yes,
Council.
I'd like to recommend the approval of this
and then
resolution.
Trustee Pell, I believe, wants a
You want a
roll
roll
call.
call vote stuff on this, or?
Yes, let's do a roll call vote.
Okay, so is there a second for trustee Welker?
I will second Trustee Welker's
Seconded.
at the opinion of our council.
Seconded by trustee Warner. You want to call the roll?
Do
I
you
can
want me to
call the
call
roll
the
if you
roll?
want.
Or let's
Yes,
Jessica
yes, you
call
wanna
it?
call the roll?
Yeah,
Sure.
she's supposed to do it.
President Horowitz.
I'm an aye.
Secretary Treasurer Pell.
Yes. All right.
Trustee Warner seconded. So
Aye.
yes.
Yes.
Trustee Walker.
Yes,
Trustee Parrish.
Yes.
Okay, it's unanimous.
Unanimous vote.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, Jessica.
I have trustee resolution 2023-279. It's to authorize a contract with James E. Olivo, CPA for consulting. Whereas the Board of Trustees of the Freeholders and Commonalty of the Town of Southampton solicited a request for proposals for the professional services, including but not limited to accounting, review of financial records, preparation of policies, and budget preparation, whereas James E. Olivo, CPA, submitted a proposal to provide the following for May 16, 2023 through January 1st, 2024, an hourly rate of $125.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Pell. All in favor?
Aye.
Trustee Resolution 2023-280, Budget and Finance. Warrant number 17 of the 2023 trustees, per recommended review of the town comptroller, the following vendor payment warrant 17 be approved for an amount of $82,574.30. Warrant 17, $82,574.30. Automatic rental, $2,940.70. Barnwell House and Tires, $1,030.65. Be Ready, $55,709.38. Card number, $1,557.89. Law Office of Concon, $3,816.27. Contracts, $644.50. Fisher's Sign, $1,050. Joseph Labata, $2,975. PSEG of Long Island, $101.73. Stern, $12,133.59. Mason, $614.59. Amount of $82,574.30.
Okay, I'll second it and note that the majority of what we're spending is on lawyers.
Yes.
Right? So, all in favor?
Aye.
It's a necessary practice here at the Board of Trustees to do the work that we need to do to protect and defend the trust of people of South Southampton, and all of our visitors as well.
Yes.
All right, so that being said, is there any discussion? I do want to go into executive session to further discuss relative to legal representation. But is there any other discussion that there has to be prior to the entrance into executive session, or have we, I know you got through all the Mill Pond stuff, thank you for that.
I just want to do a quick update on SAG.
Okay.
Mecox is probably about 5 to 6 inches below the opening line, but SAG is right at the opening line, so we're going to be looking into opening SAG in the near future.
Okay. Thank you. Had a lot of rain lately, right?
Overwashing.
Overwashing rain, we got rough seas, we got terrible stuff going on, right? All right, so that being said, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn and go into executive session.
Second.
Second to trustee Pell, all in favor? Aye. Okay, everybody have a great afternoon.
Thank you.